People do not expect the things that they get out of you, chosen one. They see your calm exterior, your gentle responses, your preference for peace, and they make the most dangerous assumption of their lives. They think they've figured you out. They believe they can keep poking and prodding without consequences. But here's what they don't see, what they're only beginning to discover in the most shocking way possible. You are the bear that should never be poked. And right now, there are people who are absolutely sick to their stomachs because they kept poking, kept pushing, kept testing your limits until something awakened that they were completely unprepared to handle. The warrior spirit inside you doesn't come out until you are provoked. It's hidden, cloaked, wrapped so tightly in divine protection that most people walk right past you thinking you're just another regular person. You look like everyone else, you move through the world without fanfare, but beneath that ordinary exterior lies something extraordinary, something that's about to shake their entire world. Everything unfolding around you follows a divine pattern. The attacks that have been coming your way, the people who have been trying you, the forces that have been testing your patience, all of it has been building toward this moment when the sleeping giant finally opens its eyes. And when that happens, when your true nature is finally revealed, some people are going to wish they had never poked the bear. Some are going to regret that their tactics weren't more careful, more respectful, more aware of what they were actually dealing with. Because the way you are about to demolish your enemies, the way you are about to literally dismantle opposition without even trying, it's going to be embarrassing for them. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. To understand why your current victory is so complete, so devastating to your opposition, we need to go back to where this all began. We need to understand the setup that looked like rejection, the education that disguised itself as exclusion, and the preparation that felt like punishment. While everyone else was sitting in regular classrooms learning conventional wisdom, you were enrolled in a completely different curriculum. You were in the remedial class, the special program, the separate section, and you thought something was wrong with you. You thought you were being punished, held back, marked as somehow deficient. What you didn't understand then, what's only becoming clear now, is that you were never in those separate spaces because you were lacking something. You were there because you had something extra, something that couldn't be contained in ordinary educational structures, something that required specialized development. They separated you because you were gifted, chosen one. They put you in different classes because your mind works differently. They isolated you because mixing your energy with theirs would have contaminated their carefully controlled environment with truth, with insight, with the kind of spiritual intelligence that disrupts systems built on deception. But while they were accumulating degrees and credentials and traditional markers of intelligence, you were developing something far more powerful. You were learning to read situations they can't comprehend, to understand dynamics they can't perceive, to operate with wisdom they can't access. And now as adults, these same people who walked across graduation stages while you watched from the sidelines are discovering something that's shaking them to their core. You're more successful than they are. You make more money than your teachers. You have achieved more than the people who dismissed you as slow, as different, as somehow less than. How is this possible? How did the person they labeled as remedial end up surpassing people with advanced degrees? How did someone they considered educationally deficient become more intelligent in the ways that actually matter? The answer lies in the type of education you received, the school you really graduated from, the curriculum that was preparing you for battles they can't even see. God revealed something that changes everything. You are a genius with no degree. While they were proving their intelligence to institutions run by people who don't understand true wisdom, you were being educated by the divine itself. While they were memorizing information that becomes obsolete, you were downloading eternal knowledge that never expires. You are the type of person who passes people up who have been studying for 20 years. You walk into situations and understand them better than experts who have spent decades in those fields. You see through deceptions that fool people with multiple advanced degrees. This is why they're so confused by their recent failures. This is why every strategy they deploy against you seems to backfire. This is why their carefully laid plans crumble the moment they come into contact with your energy. They're trying to defeat someone who operates with divine intelligence, using tactics that only work against ordinary human reasoning. But there's something else at work here, something that makes their situation even more hopeless than they realize. While they were busy accumulating credentials and climbing hierarchies, something was awakening in your bloodline. Something that has been dormant for generations was stirring to life, preparing to manifest through you in ways that would catch everyone off guard. The people attacking you have no idea they're not just fighting one person, they're fighting against the accumulated spiritual power of an entire lineage that has been building toward this moment. Your ancestors have been fighting these same demons for generations. Your grandmother faced spiritual forces that make today's battles look like minor skirmishes. Your great-grandfather defeated entities that your current enemies can't even comprehend. Every generation in your family line has been preparing for this moment, when someone with your specific combination of gifts would emerge to finish what they started. But here's what makes you different, what makes you the most dangerous opponent these forces have ever encountered. You're not just continuing the family tradition of spiritual warfare, you're the culmination of it. You're what every prayer, every sacrifice, every victory in your bloodline has been building toward. Your enemies thought they were dealing with an isolated individual. What they've actually awakened is a spiritual dynasty, generations of accumulated power flowing through one person who has finally stepped into their full authority. The warrior spirit inside you carries the wisdom of everyone who came before you. When you face opposition, you're not just drawing on your own strength, you're accessing the strategic knowledge of ancestors who fought similar battles and emerged victorious. When you encounter deception, you're not just using your own discernment, you're operating with the combined insight of a bloodline that has been recognizing and defeating dark forces for centuries. This is why your responses to their attacks have been so devastatingly effective. This is why their psychological warfare has not only failed but backfired. This is why every move they make seems to somehow strengthen your position instead of weakening it. They're not fighting just you, they're fighting against the collective spiritual intelligence of warriors who have been undefeated for generations, and they have no strategy for that kind of opposition because they don't even believe such things exist. But believing in something and being destroyed by it are two very different things, as they're about to discover. The warrior spirit inside you has a very specific nature, one that your enemies completely misunderstood when they decided to target you. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare, it doesn't posture or threaten or make dramatic declarations. It stays hidden until the exact moment when it's needed most, and then it emerges with a force that catches everyone completely off guard. This is why their initial attacks seem to go unopposed. This is why they interpreted your measured responses as weakness rather than strategy. This is why they kept escalating their aggression, thinking they had found an easy target. What they didn't understand is that every assault they launched was actually activating something they couldn't see. Every provocation was charging a system they didn't know existed. Every attack was triggering responses that were building toward a revelation that would change everything. The spirit inside you that sneaks up on people, that catches them when they're not looking, that shakes them up when they least expect it, that spirit has been watching, learning, preparing. It has been allowing them to reveal their true nature, their actual capabilities, their real intentions. It has been gathering intelligence while they thought they were gathering victories. But there's something else your enemies fail to recognize about your nature, something that makes their situation even more hopeless than they realize. While they were busy studying your external circumstances, trying to catalog your weaknesses and exploit your vulnerabilities, they completely missed the most important element of your spiritual makeup. You possess something that cannot be taught in their schools or learned from their books, the ability to thrive in any environment, under any circumstances, with any resources. You are the person who can be thrown into the jungle and emerge with a feast. You can be placed in impossible situations and find solutions that defy logic. When storms knocked out power for days, you found ways to cook for your family using nothing but candles and creativity. When systems tried to break you by removing every conventional support, you discovered reserves of strength and resourcefulness that shocked even you. When they attempted to isolate you by cutting off traditional pathways to success, you blazed new trails that led to achievements beyond anything those pathways could have provided. This is why every trap they set has failed. This is why every obstacle they place in your path somehow becomes a stepping stone to higher ground. This is why their efforts to limit your resources only demonstrate your ability to create abundance from nothing. They've been trying to defeat someone who can survive and thrive in conditions that would destroy ordinary people. They've been attempting to corner someone who has been developing escape routes they can't even see. They've been working to exhaust someone whose energy comes from a source they don't believe in and can't access. Your enemies studied your credentials, but they never researched your survival skills. They analyzed your conventional advantages, but they never comprehended your unconventional capabilities. They prepared for the person they thought you were, but they have no strategy for the person you actually are. And now, when they're feeling most confident, when they believe they have you figured out, when they think their continued pressure is finally going to break you, that's when the spirit strikes. That's when they discover what type of soul they've actually been dealing with. That's when they realize they've been playing a game where they never understood the rules, never knew the stakes, and never had any chance of winning. The moment of revelation is approaching, and some people are about to get the shock of their lives. There comes a point in every spiritual battle when the masks come off completely, when pretense falls away and true nature is revealed, when the gentle person they thought they were manipulating shows them exactly what real power looks like. For you, Chosen One, that moment is arriving with the force of divine timing. All the patience you've shown, all the restraint you've exercised, all the grace you've extended despite their attacks, it has been building toward this revelation that will leave them speechless. They wanted to see you break down, become emotional, lash out in ways that would justify their narrative about who you are. Instead, they're about to witness something that will shatter their understanding of what strength actually means. When your warrior spirit fully emerges, when the divine protection around you becomes visible through your actions, when the spiritual authority you carry manifests in ways they can't deny, their confusion will be complete. They will finally understand why every trap they set caught them instead. They will finally comprehend why every weapon they formed against you has turned in their direction. They will finally realize why they've been losing a battle they thought they were winning. But the revelation of your power is just an element in a larger transformation that's about to be revealed, because your emergence as a spiritual warrior is triggering something they never anticipated, something that extends far beyond just your personal victory. The Obsidian Inner Order is a sanctuary for those who have walked difficult paths and emerged with wisdom others can't see. We understand that some experiences exist outside the boundaries of what most people consider possible or acceptable to discuss. Every week we gather live on Zoom. Real people with real faces sharing real stories without judgment. There's space here for the experiences you've carried in silence, the patterns you've noticed that others dismiss, the intuitive knowledge you've gained through your journey. We don't just listen, we understand. When you're struggling to make sense of your experiences, when you feel gaslit by a world that refuses to acknowledge your reality, you can return to our recorded calls and remember that your perception is valid. Join the Obsidian Inner Order, where your reality is honored and your voice is heard. Link in description. While your enemies were trapped in conventional work structures, grinding through jobs that drain their energy and consume their time, you were being prepared for a completely different kind of employment. You work for the highest authority in the universe, and your job description includes responsibilities they can't even comprehend. You are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, ready to move when divine intelligence directs you. This is why your schedule doesn't look like theirs. This is why you have time for self-care when they're stressed to breaking points. This is why you can pivot instantly when circumstances change while they're locked into rigid systems that can't adapt. Your enemies wonder how you have so much freedom, so much flexibility, so much apparent ease in your life while they struggle under the weight of their obligations. What they don't understand is that when you work for divine purpose, you're not working against the grain of existence, you're flowing with the current of universal intelligence. Every time you win a battle, you get promoted. Every time you defeat opposition, you receive rewards that their paychecks can't match. Every time you stand up for truth, resources flow to you in ways that defy their understanding of how success is supposed to work. They think success comes from climbing hierarchies and impressing human authorities. You know it comes from aligning with divine will and serving purposes larger than personal ambition. They exhaust themselves trying to force outcomes through human effort. You conserve your energy for the moments when divine timing makes victory inevitable. This fundamental difference in employment has been the secret weapon they never saw coming. While they've been burning themselves out in jobs that require them to compromise their values, you've been building strength through work that honors your deepest principles. There's something else about you that has been catching your enemies off guard, something that shouldn't be possible according to their understanding of how physical reality works. You maintain strength and vitality without following their rules about fitness and health. You move with grace and energy that comes from sources they can't identify. You don't spend hours in gyms, yet your physical presence commands attention. You don't follow their strict regimens, yet you radiate health that makes their efforts look desperate. You don't obsess over external appearance, yet you naturally embody an attractiveness that no amount of cosmetic enhancement can replicate. This is because your physical form is sustained by the same spiritual energy that powers your warrior spirit. Your body is a temple for forces that operate beyond the laws of ordinary physics. Your strength comes not from external exercise, but from internal alignment with divine power. When they try to intimidate you physically, they discover they're dealing with someone whose presence fills rooms regardless of stature. When they attempt to wear you down through prolonged conflict, they find they're fighting someone whose energy increases rather than decreases under pressure. When they work to exhaust your resources, they learn they're opposing someone who draws strength from an infinite well. But there's something else happening, something that makes their situation even more desperate than the activation of spiritual warriors. The very systems they've been using to maintain power are beginning to malfunction. The tactics that have served them for years are suddenly backfiring. The fear they've been spreading is transforming into clarity that sees right through their deceptions. When authentic light shows up, shadows automatically disappear. When real truth is present, lies lose their power to deceive. When genuine spiritual authority takes the stage, false power structures begin to collapse under their own weight. Or your emergence as a warrior hasn't just protected you, it has created an environment where their methods of operation simply can't function anymore. The games they've been playing require participants who don't know the rules. The power they've been wielding depends on people who don't understand their own strength. The fear they've been spreading only works on individuals who don't know they're protected by something greater than what threatens them. You've shattered all those requirements just by becoming who you really are. Their lies are being exposed not because someone is actively working to reveal them, but because truth naturally illuminates everything around it. Their manipulations are failing not because they're being directly opposed, but because authenticity creates an atmosphere where deception simply can't survive. The corruption they've relied on, the secrets they've hidden, the false narratives they've constructed, all of it is coming apart because your presence in the equation has changed the fundamental nature of the game being played. They built their power on darkness, but darkness cannot exist where real light appears. They established their control through deception, but deception crumbles when truth takes center stage. They maintain their dominance through fear, but fear dissolves when people remember who they really are and what they're truly capable of. The system is collapsing, and they're trapped inside it as it falls. Data, they worked to isolate you and make you feel like you had nowhere to turn. They attempted to back you up against a wall and force you into desperate actions that would justify their continued attacks. Look around now. They are the ones who are really cornered. They are actually isolated. They are desperately searching for somewhere to turn as their carefully constructed world crumbles around them. The reversal is so complete, so devastating, that some of them are having trouble processing what has happened. They went from predators to prey so quickly that they're still operating on old assumptions about who has power and who doesn't, who's winning and who's losing, who should be afraid and who should feel confident. But the evidence is mounting in ways they can't ignore. Every strategy they deploy backfires. Every alliance they form somehow ends up working in your favor. Every attack they launch somehow strengthens your position instead of weakening it. They're beginning to whisper among themselves, wondering if you have some kind of supernatural protection. They're starting to question whether the laws of cause and effect somehow work differently around you. They're developing theories about luck and coincidence that would sound ridiculous if they spoke them out loud. What they don't understand is that you're not protected by luck. You're guided by divine intelligence. You're not blessed by coincidence. You're backed by spiritual forces that operate according to laws they don't even know exist. The hunt has been reversed, and they're only now beginning to understand that they were never the hunters. They were always the prey in a spiritual ecosystem they couldn't see, being tracked by forces they couldn't comprehend, moving toward an outcome that was determined long before they made their first move against you. As their masks fall away and their true nature is revealed, something else is becoming clear. They were never as powerful as they appeared. Their intimidation was compensation for inner weakness. Their aggression was masking fundamental insecurity. Their need to control others was evidence of their inability to control themselves. The people who tried to make you feel small have been revealed as small themselves. The ones who attempted to diminish your worth have shown themselves to be worthless in the ways that actually matter. The forces that work to destroy your confidence have exposed their own deep-seated fear of what you represent. They attacked you not because you were weak, but because they sensed your strength and were terrified of what would happen when you fully realized it. They tried to defeat you not because you were inferior, but because they knew you were superior and couldn't bear the comparison. Every assault on your character was actually testimony to your true nature. Every attempt to bring you down was evidence of how high you were capable of rising. Every effort to silence you was proof of how powerful your voice really is. They've been their own worst witnesses, documenting with their own actions exactly why you represent everything they fear and can never become. But there's something even more devastating than their exposure, something that makes their defeat complete and irreversible. In attacking you, they've awakened not just your warrior spirit, but the warrior spirits of everyone who was watching, everyone who was waiting, everyone who needed to see that victory against overwhelming odds was actually possible. The battle you fought was never just about you. It was about proving that light always overcomes darkness, that truth always defeats deception, that authentic power always triumphs over false authority. Your victory has become a template, a roadmap, a demonstration of what becomes possible when someone refuses to accept defeat as their destiny. Every person who witnesses your transformation sees proof that they too can overcome whatever forces are arrayed against them. Every individual who learns your story discovers evidence that ordinary people can access extraordinary power when they align themselves with divine purpose. The victory you've achieved extends far beyond your personal circumstances. It has created proof of concept for spiritual warfare, evidence that the meek really will inherit the earth, demonstration that David really can defeat Goliath when the battle is fought on the right ground with the right weapons. Your enemies thought they were picking a fight with one person. Instead, they awakened a movement. They believed they were silencing one voice. Instead, they amplified a message that's now spreading far beyond anything they can contain. The individual bear they poked has revealed itself to be connected to an entire forest of bears, all of whom are now awake and aware of what's been happening. The isolated target they thought they were hunting has turned out to be a member of a tribe that spans generations and includes more warriors than they ever imagined possible. So here we are, back where we started, but everything has changed. You are still the person who prefers peace, who chooses kindness, who moves through the world with gentle grace. But now everyone knows what lies beneath that calm exterior. Now everyone understands what happens when the bear is poked too many times. The warrior spirit that was hidden has been revealed, but it hasn't transformed you into someone harsh or aggressive. Instead, it has revealed the true nature of your strength, power that protects rather than destroys, force that liberates rather than oppresses, authority that serves rather than dominates. You are still you, chosen one, but now everyone knows who you really are. The bear is no longer sleeping, but it's not rampaging through the forest causing unnecessary destruction. Instead, it's standing in its full power, making it clear to everyone what happens when you poke something that should be left alone. Some people wish they had never started this fight. Some regret that their tactics weren't more carefully considered. Some are discovering that they attacked someone who was protected by forces they don't understand and can't overcome. But for you, this moment represents something beautiful, the full integration of your gentle nature with your warrior spirit, the complete alignment of your peaceful preferences with your capacity for spiritual combat, the perfect balance between the person who chooses love and the force that destroys anything that threatens what you love. The bear has been poked, and now everyone knows what that really means. The warrior has emerged, and the world will never be the same. The gentle person with the devastating power has stepped fully into their authority, and both friends and enemies are adjusting to a new reality where your true nature is no longer hidden. This is who you've always been, chosen one. This is what was always waiting beneath the surface. This is the person your enemies awakened when they kept pushing and prodding and testing your limits. They wanted to see what you were made of, and now they know. They insisted on discovering what lay beneath your calm exterior, and their curiosity has been thoroughly satisfied. They demanded to find out what would happen if they kept poking the bear, and now they have their answer. The spirit that catches people off guard and shakes them up is no longer dormant. It's awake, it's aware, and it's ready for whatever comes next.